I listened to you talk today.
Yeah.
On the one hand, you definitely speak very progressively, but you don't have like a lot of super specific policy ideas.
Yeah. Part of where the left and the center left have gone wrong is we've been so policy led that we haven't been as philosophical.
Is part of what you're trying to do like recapture those words?
Yeah, absolutely. I think some of these things need to be retrieved from.
The problem is that so many people feel like the economy has left them behind. What we have to do is we have to say, look, there's record high GDP and stock market prices. You know what else are at record highs? Suicides, drug overdoses, depression, anxiety. It's gotten so bad that American life expectancy has declined for the last 3 years.
In an economy that doesn't work for most of us, where GDP can go up, stock market can go up, and life expectancy can go down, tells you something is deeply troubled in this country. And it means we're not going to be able to fix it by recycling the same arguments that have dominated Washington for as long as I've been alive. We've got to do something completely different.
How do you tactically propose we avert an unemployment crisis? And how will you shepherd our country's people through this change?
As you know, automation is transforming our economy, and we can't pretend that it can just be stopped or reversed.
What I've been telling people is that we're in the third inning now, where one of the main reasons why Donald Trump won in 2016 is that we automated away 4 million manufacturing jobs that were based in Michigan, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Wisconsin, Missouri, Iowa, all the swing states he needed to win in the center of the country.
That's why we might even need to look at guaranteed income for working people.
By introducing a universal basic income, you're really talking about transforming society and transforming the way culture views value.
I'm where I am because I believe that this is inevitable and we don't have a choice, and that the sooner we get there, the better off our society will be.
But the most important thing is that we build up answers for that, because if we don't, some very negative and very ugly things, from substance abuse to the worst kind of white identity politics that I think we were served up in 2016.
Then there'll be a massive depletion of truck driving opportunities. And then, in my mind, a lot of suicides, a lot of self-destruction. And I don't say that lightly. I say that based upon the fact that that's what happened to the manufacturing workers. Mm-hmm. Where if you unpack what happened to the manufacturing workers of Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, suicide rates spiked to a point where now our life expectancy as a country has declined for the last 3 years because of suicides and drug overdoses. It's the first time that's happened since the great flu pandemic of 1918. Like, we are actually coming apart as a country by the numbers.
Let me just follow up if I can. What do you mean by a guaranteed income?
Well, again, we're at the outset of learning about what these policies could do on the ground. For example, there's an experiment going on right now in the city of Stockton with what's called universal basic income, where they're actually simply distributing payments to people to make sure that that income floor is lifted. The idea is there are too many Americans who couldn't find even $400 in an emergency to get them through that.
So if you look at what's happening in America today, a mindset of scarcity has swept most of the country, where 57% of Americans today cannot afford an unexpected $500 bill. So first, I want to say that if you look at the heritage of universal basic income, it's a deeply American idea, where Thomas Paine was for it at the founding of the country. And then Martin Luther King was for it. Milton Friedman, the godfather of conservative economists, was for it. And one state has had it in effect for 37 years, where everyone in that state gets between $1,000 and $2,000 a year, no questions asked.
This is Alaska?
Yeah, it's Alaska, and they fund it with oil money.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm going around telling people is that technology is the oil of the 21st century.
Maybe we ought to broaden our definition of work. So, for example, if you are taking care of a parent or raising a child, isn't that work? And shouldn't we honor that too?
I also want to say, on a more fundamental level, right now, our economic stats, for example, they dismiss the work of moms. And my wife is at home with our 2 young boys right now, one of whom is autistic, and GDP will measure her contribution at 0. When really her contribution is what we need more of and more of in an age where we're going to be automating away more and more work. So we need to broaden our conceptions of both work and value to become much, much bigger and broader. And this is necessary, in my mind, in part, to achieve some measure of racial and gender inequality, because the marketplace will systematically disregard and undervalue the work of women, and will also systematically exclude underrepresented minorities from meaningful opportunities.